Will I finally be replacing my Sofrin C8L, my 2.5-year duty-tested work light, with a Wurkkos TS23? Let's find out in a self-equip head-to-head. So before we get into the stats here, I just want to give you a little bit of a disclaimer. I have had this Sofrin C8L here on the left for about 2.5 years, and I've been using this Sofrin C8L on duty in my patrol vest. As you can see, it's got a few scars on it. So it has genuinely been duty tested, and I genuinely love this light. It works really well, has a great throw, good amount of lumens. I really can't say a bad thing about it, and it's survived everything I've thrown at it so far. But I really thought that this Wurkkos TS23, once I looked into it, was a good comparable light and maybe a potential upset for the C8L, and it might take its place on my vest, but we're going to find that out today. So I'm going to throw up the stats on either side of these guys so you guys can just read through the stats if you're a stat guy and you want to see that, or gal. There could be girls watching, you never know. But anyways, I'm just going to go through a few notables. So on the left we have the Sofrin C8L with 3100 lumens, and on the right we've got 5000 lumens out of the Wurkkos TS23. So that's very significant, almost 2000 more out of that Wurkkos. But then we come down to the throw, and we have 531 meters of throw out of the C8L, and we only have 482 meters out of the Wurkkos. So clearly the thrower is the Sofrin. You know, it's not a huge difference. It's about 50 meters, but that could genuinely make the difference between you seeing someone and you not seeing someone, you know, if they're across a park or something like that. They both use 5,000 milliamp hour batteries. They both are about 6,500K color temperature. The Wurkkos says 6,000 to 6,500K. The Sofrin C8L is IPX8 rated, whereas the Wurkkos TS23 is IPX65. We're going to do the water test anyways, like we always do, and they're going to get submerged for 30 minutes. So we'll see if there's any difference. I kind of doubt it. Something different and kind of tactical on the Wurkkos TS23 is these little tungsten beads up top. So those would be used if you want to try and strike a window and break a window open, which genuinely could be useful in a patrol setting or even a fire setting if you're going to use it on either one of those, or just as an everyday carry and you want to break a window because you see someone or a dog is stuck in a hot car or something like that, whatever, if you're one of those people. An obvious difference is that the Wurkkos has a pocket clip on it, whereas the C8L does not. Just to give you a little close-up, this is the pocket clip of the Wurkkos. It's got the nice reverse clip on it. You can throw it on a hat or something. I think this would be a little bit too heavy to do that with, at least comfortably. But it's got a nice deep carry pocket clip. You can throw it in the pocket. I'll show a little piece of it in my pocket here so that you know what it looks like. But ultimately, I don't know if I would be carrying this in my pocket. I would more likely carry something like the Ace Beam Tac AA. Here's a size comparison on these two guys as well. Obviously these are running the 21700 batteries, whereas this is running a 14500. So these are bigger lights, but like I said, these are for patrol or camping, outdoor recreation, stuff like that. These would be great. Going into caves, these are definitely go-to lights for something like that. You'll see if I stand them up here on their lenses, they definitely have different tail caps. So this one is kind of your standard Sofrin one, kind of that big squishy tail clap. You get a good tail cap. You get a good momentary from it, and you can do the depress, and then you have your side switch here on the C8L, which is going to be how you scroll through all your modes. And for this one, you're going to double tap and you'll get your turbo mode. But what's a big difference is there is no momentary on the Wurkkos TS23. I love a momentary on a tactical flashlight, so we're going to see if that's a deal breaker or not. But it's this big old metal button. You just click it once. There's a little bit of a delay, and that is on turbo right away. So with this Wurkkos, you can actually change it from outdoor mode to tactical mode. I have it in tactical mode, so right when I turn my light on, it goes directly into turbo. So I have the most amount of light I can possibly get. And if I press and hold it, it goes into the firefly mode, which I actually really like that. and then you can turn it off, and you can also scroll through your modes to still, whoops, by depressing the back, and it's just going to scroll through the modes that you have. And it's only 2, as you can see, in this tactical mode. So you only get those 2 plus the Firefly. And I will turn it into outdoor mode and show you guys those when we're outside at night, so you can see every single different mode that it has in it. But let's move right into some testing with these lights. Alright, we're in the backyard. I've got the Wurkkos TS23 to start, and as promised I put it back on outdoor mode, and this is the low mode, and I'm just going to have it cycle through its modes here for you. Back to low, keep it on that high. As a reminder, those trees in the back that I'm letting up past the power lines, past the power pole, are about that's 100 meters out there. And so there is the turbo, and oh my goodness, it's like daylight out here. So obviously I can touch those trees. I'm lighting up this entire tree right here. Yeah, this thing is wild. Tons of light coming out of it. And let's turn that off. Don't blind that person in that car. Move on to the Sofrin C8L. There's the low mode on the C8L. And if you remember, I'm going to have to push the side button, and that was going to scroll me through the rest of the settings here. Alright, so even on its high mode, I wager it lights up that tree even a little bit better. And yeah, there is all the way up. And this thing's just like a big spotlight. It still pretty much lights up that whole tree there, but let me turn them on side by side turbo. So on the right here, this one is the Wurkkos, and there's the C8L. So yeah, there it is on the back tree, and then there's the C8L on the back tree. So you guys can make your own determination, but man, they're both really awesome. They both throw out just a ton of light. Really can't complain there. Honestly, I'm thinking that the Wurkkos definitely has a little bit more spill, and that hot spot is not as defined. So there's the Wurkkos straight into the C8. So there's a grate down below me, and you can see the sides of the house here. So there's the Sofrin, and there's the Wurkkos, and the Wurkkos just lights up everything. Huge spill. So yeah, you got that 5,000 candela versus the 3,100 candela. That's going to get you more spill and more light. Just doesn't quite have the same reach, I don't think, as the Sofrin. Doesn't have that hot spot, but still, both of these are, in my opinion, smoking good lights. Alright, at the entrance of the sketchy shed, once again, we're going to start off with the Wurkkos, and my goodness, it turns to daylight, but I'll just have it go through its modes a couple of times. Pause at each level, and then hit you with the turbo. Turbo with the Wurkkos, yeah, you can see everything. It probably doesn't show as well on camera as I'm seeing it in person, but this entire shed is lit up and extremely bright. So we'll go right into the Sofrin turbo mode. And then let me scroll through these modes for you. There's the low, medium, high. And that's all the Sofrin's got. And then the turbo, of course. Again, still lights it up pretty good, but as you can see, I'm not getting this cabinet down here quite as well as I get with this Wurkkos, which lights up everything, has a bigger spill. You're definitely seeing the 5,000. Okay, we've got our submersion tests set up for the Wurkkos TS23 and the Sofrin C8L. I'm just going to throw them in here for 30 minutes in this 5-gallon bucket and see if they survive. Here we go. They'll both be on low. Alright, timer just hit 0. Take the timer off. Oh, that water is cold. And they're both still working. I'll turn them off and make sure everything's all good and get back to you in a sec. Alright, so both lights survived. There was no water intrusion in either, not in the lens and not in the USB port at all, which I love to see that. I would expect that out of both of these lights. But anyways, we're going to go right into our drop tests. We're doing it inside today because it is raining outside. So I'm going to do on the bezel, on the side from hip height, head height, and then from the 15-foot, that's going to be outside off the top of the roof. Hopefully it stops raining. Even if it doesn't, I'll do it because I love you guys so much. Starting from hip height, bezel. From the head, we have a crack in the Wurkkos, if you can see it. Rut row. The light still functions, it just has a crack in the lens. So we're going to keep going, but wanted to show you that. And no crack in the Sofrin lens. From the side, head height. Alright, so they both survived, they both still work. There's the Wurkkos, there's Sofrin. Sorry, that was bright. But obviously, Wurkkos took some damage there. It's got a good crack in the lens. So, not super hopeful for the 15-foot roof drop, but we're going to find out, I guess. Okay, there's a break in the rain. I'm going to go run up to the roof and throw these guys off twice. Sofrin on my right, and the Wurkkos TS23 on my left. On the bezel. Here we go. Woo! Both of them still turn on. Bye. Alright, so damage report. Before I try and fix anything, I wanted to show you. Wurkkos, oh my gosh, still works. Turn it on low there. But we've got lovely cracks in the lens here. And we have glass now inside because it broke out from up here. So it is in the lens, which that's not good. And then here's me turning on the Sofrin. That's me trying to double tap it. That's what it does right now. So that's not good. So today we lost a real one. The Sofrin C8L is dead. I tried my very best to revive it, but with everything I threw at it, it was still dead. New batteries, tried to mess with the emitter, this thing was completely torn apart, just couldn't get it to work again. Which is very sad because after 2.5 years of patrol use, I still really love this light. But the Wurkkos TS23 did survive, still turns on no problem. Can turn it on high, low, every mode works. The only thing that broke was the front here, which you can see. And I got the glass out of it because with both of these lights, which is really nice, you can take these bezels off. So that means you can take this whole front clip bezel off and just see the lens, and you can clean the lens on both of them. So that's another really nice feature that both of these have. And I took the glass out. It is still all marred up, as you saw. So I'm going to contact Wurkkos, see if they can sell me just this front bezel with the lens on it. And then this thing will be back up and running with like it never happened. So just a couple other little scarring on the body. This one already had some scars on it, just has a few new ones. Ultimately, it's a head-to-head. I have to pick one, and I'm going to still go with the Sofrin C8L. Some of you are like, what the heck are you talking about? I'll give you my list of reasons here. It has more throw, which I love. You guys should know if you've seen the channel before. If you haven't, I like a throwy flashlight. But what I really like is the tail switch. So the tail switch is definitely more of the tactical style. So I can depress it and it's going to turn on if it was still alive. I can depress it, it's going to turn on, and then I can full click it and turn it on. I like that I can switch my modes with this selector up here. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but ultimately I can turn on high mode and I can turn it and it comes on a high mode, just like the Wurkkos has that tactical mode. So it does everything the Wurkkos does. Less lumens, only the 3100 opposed to the 5000. I still like it better. Again, I have more experience with this light, so maybe I'm biased. You guys tell me what you think. What are you picking? Are you picking the Wurkkos or are you picking the Sofrin? Yeah, that's all I have for you. I'm very sad that my Sofrin is dead. Honestly, I'm probably just going to buy another one. But that's the cost of doing business, and that's why I do these tests, to see which one is toughest. Turns out today the Wurkkos is a little bit tougher. The Sofrin did survive that first drop at 15 foot though. So it was probably just an angle thing. Maybe this one would have died if it was at a different angle. You never know the variables. But ultimately, 2 tough lights, 2 really good lights. If you want to purchase either of these, please do so with the links in my description if you don't mind. That just helps the channel out, helps me buy more flashlights like these to show and test to you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.